Step-down family rooms are super dumb. Nobody likes them and they antagonize old people.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Today I'm going to show you how we fixed it. Well, fixed is maybe the wrong word. We actually made it a little more dangerous, but we got rid of the stupid railing and we replaced this with a full-width stair with LED lights in the treads. And because I like you, most of you, if you only care about how I installed the LED lights on the stairs, you can just skip ahead to the blue sections. If you care about the construction of the stairs, you can watch the green sections. And if you don't care about the construction or the LED lights, you've probably already stopped watching, so you can go. Let's get into it. Before we could build the new stair, we needed to start with a clean slate. This meant removing not just the railing, which I was actually able to give away on Facebook Marketplace, but also prying up all the boards and hardwood flooring to get down to the bare subfloor. And even though this little section of floorboard was like 6 inches by 36 inches, it was glued down and nailed to the subfloor, and it took like an hour to scrape off. So if you have an entire kitchen floor of engineered hardwood and you're thinking about removing it, here is a helpful tip. Don't. Just light your house on fire and start over. We also had to remove the trim, drywall, carpet, and yes, the original tiny step to make way for our new masterpiece. After patching up some chunks that were pulled out of the subfloor by the old adhesive, we were ready to start construction. The finished project is going to be a single stair running the width of the room, finished with the same luxury vinyl plank we have in the kitchen. LED strips will be placed under each stair tread to complete the look and add a modicum of safety. We'll start with the top stair first. Now before we can add the vinyl plank, we need a base and a toe kick that overhangs the edge by about 1 inch so we can mount the LED lights. For this, I just bought a pack of 3/8 inch engineered hardwood flooring that matches the height of the flooring beneath the vinyl plank in the kitchen. This wood is going to be covered up so it doesn't have to match the look, it just has to be the right thickness. After cutting the planks to the proper width, I screwed in the brackets for the LED diffuser channels to the bottom of the boards. Not only is this easier to do before the flooring is glued down, these brackets will act as a guide to ensure we get a perfectly even overhang across the length of the stair when we glue the boards down. Use a generous amount of adhesive on the back of each plank. PL8X is very difficult to squeeze out for a weak man like me, but hopefully you'll eat your Wheaties and don't struggle as much as I did. I switched to PL3X for most of the rest of the project to preserve my dainty muscles. After the glue is applied, use the brackets as a guide to properly position the plank at the edge of the stair, then nail the board in place. Repeat this process for all the planks along the top stair. Pressure is your friend when it comes to ensuring a strong bond, so the more nails the better as far as I'm concerned. You don't have to use a nail gun for this, but it certainly makes the job easier. Fortunately, I borrowed this brad nailer and air tank from my parents about 8 years ago and never returned it. PM me if you want to borrow it next. Before building the frame for the stair, we had to get the wiring for the LED lights figured out. Now to match the LED lights in my kitchen, I used the same RGB CCT LED strip lights from BTF Lighting that I used in that project, as well as a Glidopto Zigbee LED controller, Alito 12 volt 120 watt power supply, and Muzada LED diffuser channels. If you want to watch a complete guide on selecting LED strip lights, check out my video in the description below. The advantage of using a DIY LED solution here instead of an all-in-one solution like a Govee strip light is that I can hide the wires and controllers wherever I want, whereas a ready-made solution would have to be plugged into an outlet on a nearby wall. Hiding wires can take some creativity and effort, but for me, the solution was actually in the basement. I realized if I could fish a cable into the facing of the stairs between the floor and the ceiling joists, and then curve it around the stairs, it can feed into the utility room where I can mount the controller and there's an outlet for the power supply. Easy peasy, right? Well, I've never fished a wire around a corner, and let me just say, I am glad your children were not around to witness my meltdown. But I eventually figured out to attach a glow stick and a loop to the end of my fish line, then using the camera on my phone, because I couldn't get my head up there to see for myself, I was able to use a hook that was duct taped to a pole to grab the loop and pull it through. And there was much rejoicing. For LED lighting, I recommend using at least 18 gauge wire for long runs. The BTF Lighting RGBWW LED strips I'm using has 6 connections, so the 6-strand 18 gauge thermostat wire was perfect. In my last LED project, I used solid copper wire, but I wanted something a little more flexible for this project because of the nonsense I just showed you, so stranded wire was a better choice here. Tape the wire securely to the end of the fish line and pull it back through. Then treat yourself to some milk and cookies because it's all easier from here. With the wiring sorted out, it was time to frame up the stair. Building codes vary, but the keys to remember when building stairs are that the height of each rise, taking into account the thickness of the flooring and the carpet, cannot vary by more than 3/8 of an inch, and the stair tread nosing needs to overhang the riser by a minimum of 3/4 of an inch and a maximum of 1¼ inches. Fortunately, this meant a 2x6 board was the perfect height for my stair, but you may need to make adjustments based on the height of your top stair. To build the frame, start by nailing a 2x6 to the stair facing along the length of the stair. Framing nails work best for this, but construction screws are also acceptable. I'll be honest, I am terrible with hammers, and because I'm doing this project DIY style and I'm saving a bunch of money, I decided to treat myself and assert my Second Amendment rights by buying this $99 nail gun from Harbor Freight. It's pretty sweet. Sure, the sparks are normal. To account for the 1-inch overhang of the stair nose, we need our frame to be 11 inches deep. 2x6s are 1.5 inches wide, which makes no sense, but that means we need to cut cross pieces 8 inches long. We space them about every foot or so, and then nail the rest of the stair frame together. I added a little adhesive to the end of each block for extra hold. Before putting on the stair treads, we need to finish up wiring the LED strips. To feed the wire from the end of our LED strip to our connection cavity, I carved a groove into the drywall, then used hot glue to hold the wire in place. This will all get patched up after the stair is complete. Next, I cut a tiny notch in the facing of the bottom stair to run the wire for the bottom LED strip. Now we need to connect the LED strip wires to the wires from the LED controller. I'm sure I'll get plenty of comments about how soldering is somehow superior and I should go back to knitting or whatever, but these lever connectors are so much easier and they work great. We are connecting these LEDs in parallel, so it's just a matter of connecting all of the light colored wires together. Green to green, yellow to yellow, etc. to etc. Then we can tuck it into this crevice I created in the wall next to the stair frame. Now we can connect the other end of the wire to our controller and test it out. I fired it up, the test worked great, so we could forge ahead. The Glidopto controller I have is a Zigbee controller that I connected to my Philips Hue bridge, and from there I can control it via the Hue app, or later on automate it with my Homey Pro hub. After the project was complete, I mounted the LED controller and power supply near an outlet in the utility room using zip ties. Okay, time to give the stairs some treads. A 14-foot board long enough for the entire width of the stair was going to cost hundreds of dollars, so I just bought 4 of these pre-made short stair treads for $20 each, and then laid them next to each other. Because it's going to be covered with luxury vinyl plank, it doesn't really matter how it looks as long as it's solid. I unfortunately don't have any video of this, but before installing the bottom stair tread, I had my friend with a router table cut a groove on the bottom end of the stair tread to fit the LED channel. If you don't have a router, you can rent one, or I will post my friend's personal cell phone number in the description below. I'm sure he'll be happy to help. The frame I built for the stair was not perfectly flush, so I had to even the frame out a little bit with a belt sander. Yeah, DIY, there you go. Now, if I had gotten a 2x6 board long enough for the stair, this would not have been a problem, but it's hard to fit a 16-foot board in a Toyota Camry, so I did the best I could. Before fixing the treads to the frame, I highly recommend screwing in the clips for the LED channels, just like we did for the top stair while there's easy access to them. Then, once you're ready, apply adhesive to the top of the stair frame and screw the treads into place. Pre-drilling holes sucks, but I recommend it in this situation to avoid splitting the wood. The last tread, of course, needed to be measured and cut before installation. And with that, we had a functional, albeit ugly, set of stairs. Before finishing it off with the luxury vinyl plank, this was the time to finish installing the LED strips to the underside of the stair nose. Finally, something I knew how to do. Next, clean the channel with a little rubbing alcohol. Then, peel the backing away from the LED strip and stick it to the channel. Work slowly and apply good pressure for a solid hold. Then just snap the diffuser into the channel and you're done. How beautiful is that? I mean, I guess it's not that beautiful with the bare wood, so let's solve that. We finished the stairs with the same luxury vinyl plank used in the kitchen. The top stair plank just snaps into place with the rest of the floor. No adhesive is necessary, but vinyl for the stairs needs to be glued down. Before doing that, you're supposed to remove the padding on the back of the tile. Now, some of them just peeled right off, others almost required calling in the National Guard, but this multi-tool scraper was a lifesaver here. After that, we could measure, cut, and snap the tiles to size. For adhesive, Loctite PL3X works for the stair tread, but on the stair risers, use Loctite PL8X for a quicker hold and a better forearm workout. Be sure to wipe off any adhesive that you will inevitably get on the LED strip as you install the planks. And find something to hold them into place as best you can. To finish up the stairs, we had to add the nose pieces to the stair treads. Cut the pieces to length and add a generous amount of clear Gorilla Glue to the bottom side before sliding them into place. and of course weigh them down while the glue dries. And here's a tip, get the big bottle of Gorilla Glue so you don't have to make another Home Depot run in the middle of this step like I did. Fortunately, I had to go to Home Depot anyways to rent a knee kicker for the carpet to get the carpet back into place. Now, I'll be honest, I almost turned this into a disaster with some poorly executed cuts, but it did give me an opportunity to learn some things about carpet patching and repair. And most importantly, my wife hasn't noticed yet, so please keep your mouth shut. The final step was to patch and paint the wall, and we were finally done. Okay, the final step was to clean up the mess, but after that, well, it looked pretty darn good. I will create another video that shows how we automated these stairs with the Homey Pro, and at some point I will add a small railing here for those that need a little help getting up and down the stairs.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
But for now, let's go to the tale of the tape. Clearly, I used a lot of tools, but you don't need all of these air tools if you're decent with a hammer, but a lot of these tools just made the job easier. The total price tag was $903. Of that, $186 was for the LEDs, and the remaining $717 went into the building of the stairs. Obviously, the flooring you choose can make a big difference here in the price, and our luxury vinyl plank was reasonably priced except for the 4 nose pieces that we needed that were $80 a piece. Apparently nose pieces are the most difficult thing in the world to manufacture. I finished this project before the Great Trade War of 2025, so the prices I have may be different today or tomorrow or 5 minutes from now. Heck, we might not even have dollars anymore. Could all be crypto or back in the barter system. What a time to be alive. Regardless, I do have affiliate links for all of the LED products I used. Anything you buy helps the channel, so thanks for that. If you want to learn more about LED purchase and installation, watch this video here. If you want to learn how to install luxury vinyl plank, watch this video here. Or maybe it's the other way around, or maybe I haven't finished this video yet. The world's a mystery. Thanks for watching.